Welcome everyone to another episode of Feel Good Fridays. Hopefully everyone enjoyed that intro song sang by Ibrahim Kamal. So, Feel Good Fridays is our good news show where we share with you guys some positive news from all over the world. So, let's get right into it. Alright, so first things first. Oh, let me get that up. If you have some disposable income, please consider donating to MJKO.ca. So you can go to MJKO.ca. There's a red donate button in the top right, and it will take you to our donation page, which is pretty straightforward. All right, so please consider donating. All right. Of course, take care of yourself and your family first before you consider donating. Okay, it doesn't seem like it's gonna load. That's fine. Next, consider visiting shapeyourlifeboxing.com to find out more about our partner, Shape Your Life. All right, first story of today from the MLB, Major League Baseball. Let's take a look. It's a pretty funny video. Ooh. All right, there's no fans right now for all the live sports, but they did put some like cardboard cutouts and some stuffed animals, and wow, what a catch from that giant teddy bear. Boom.
I think everything is fine.
Wow, what are the odds? Teddy bear. Look at that. Exit velocity barely fast. Catch probability barely low. That is hilarious. All right, next story. From BlackBerry, all right, the tech company that used to make phones, but now they're in software. Now they're coming back with a new phone. All right, so BlackBerry is back from the dead. 5G and QWERTY keyboard confirmed. So QWERTY keyboard, as you can see, for all the people who like physical buttons, all right, to type on, BlackBerry might be the one for you. All right, so next year is gonna come out. Interesting. I wonder how much it's gonna cost. I like the carbon fiber black backside. Looks pretty cool. All right, moving on to our next story. From Nintendo Switch is gonna get a new model next year. I think that probably has to do with the fact that they're trying to compete with the new PS5 and Xbox that are set to launch this holiday season. No pictures yet. All right, these are all old models. Our next one, the Eglinton LRT in Toronto. All right, these are some images from the vehicles that they'll be using on the new LRT line on Eglinton. Kind of looks exactly like our new streetcars, to be honest, with a different paint job. All right, so let's see. So this is the tunnel, LRT tunnel. Yeah, it looks exactly the same as a streetcar, except different paint job. Well, that'll be interesting to try it out once it is fully up and running. All right, next story. From the Brooklyn Nets owner. All right, Brooklyn Nets, the NBA team. The owner pledges $50 million to create economic mobility in the Black community. All right, so let's take a look. So the Brooklyn Nets owners will donate $50 million over 10 years to support economic mobility in Black community. So $50 million, so that's $5 million per year. Hey, Oregon, what is up? The Nets contribution will total $60 million, including $10 million donated towards the NBA and the NBA Players Association, $300 million pledge. Wow. So as you can see, that is the Brooklyn Nets owner, the Asian male right there in the middle. So good move by the Brooklyn Nets ownership. Next story from the Tour de France. All right, the Tour de France, probably one of the most famous, probably if not the most famous bicycle race ever. it is known for how difficult it is. It's called the Tour de France. All right, it was postponed earlier this summer due to COVID-19, but it is back. All right, so it is starting tomorrow, August 29th, Saturday, August 29th. The Tour de France starts. All right, you can see they're bicycling. All right, so let's take a look at the first stage of the Tour de France. All right, so in total on the first day, only the first day, all right, it's a 3-week thing. All right, 156 kilometers in one day, and they're doing this for like the next 3 weeks. So 156 kilometers. To put that in perspective, if you're living here in Toronto, it is a straight line all the way to London. All right, so that's about 156 kilometers from Toronto if you're just going in a straight line. All right, so that is a pretty long distance from Toronto to London, Ontario. It's the same distance. All right, next one. If you are a big gamer, Logitech announced some new peripherals: mouse, keyboard, and headsets. So different colorways, RGB, and mic covers. Oh, that's interesting. So give Logitech a check if you are in the market for some new peripherals. Next story. All right. So a lot of people know wind turbines. They produce renewable energy from the wind, of course. But in Norway, the wind farm has been had the unfortunate consequence of injuring or killing birds. So now, birds' death down 70% after painting wind turbine blades. Wow, seems like a pretty easy fix going forward. If it's that easy, then they should just all paint it from now on. Because I guess for whatever reason, birds, run into the white windmill. But that's pretty good. Our next story from the Houston Rockets. All right, so a lot of news this week from the NBA and a lot of the other sports leagues across the world. NBA this week has postponed their season momentarily to protest for Black Lives Matter. Of course, there was an incident this week about a man getting shot in the States, but we're not going to get into that. All right. So let's read a little bit into our story. So the Houston Rockets and the Harris County Clerk Office announced Toyota Center. All right, so the Toyota Center is where the Houston Rockets usually play in Houston. Will serve as a vote center. All right, so the Houston Rockets announced today that the Toyota Center will serve as a vote center for the 2020 presidential election. Nice. That is good news. All right, and adding to the NBA protests, all right, President Barack Obama has something to say too. So President Barack Obama tweeted, "I commend the players on the Bucks for standing up for what they believe in, coaches like Doc Rivers and the NBA and the WNBA for setting an example. It's going to take all our institutions to stand up for our values." So it will be very interesting to see how that develops, and hopefully, we can progress and move forward. All right, so in light of that news, all right, Kenny from the TNT NBA sports casting team, all right, they're all former NBA players, I think, except for Ernie Johnson. No, maybe Ernie Johnson was an NBA player, but let's take a look at what Kenny does.
I think the biggest thing now is to kind of, as a black man, as a former player, I think it's best for me to support the players and just not be here tonight. And figure out what happens after that. I just don't feel equipped to do that.
And I respect that.
I think the biggest thing...
And he just walks off the set. All right. In solidarity with everyone else protesting. That is a pretty bold move by Kenny, and I commend him for that. Our next story from the UK. All right, the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson hires personal trainer Harry Jameson. All right, so let's see. So the Prime Minister He hired a personal trainer to lose weight after acknowledging that he was too fat when he caught coronavirus. All right, so of course there's a lot of studies and news that support the evidence that if you are substantially overweight, that does, negatively affect, yourself if you ever catch coronavirus. All right, so let's see. The Prime Minister admitted to the hospital with the virus in April that he says has been steadily building up his fitness. Mr. Jamieson says his training considers the mind as much as the body. Wow. So good on him for, taking care of his body. Boris Johnson did have a pretty severe case of COVID-19 earlier in the pandemic, and it was so bad that the UK government was actually revising their plans and policies in the unfortunate case that he may pass away. But thankfully, he survived, and now he's taking care of his health and fitness. Okay, next story from Paris, France. All right, so masks to be mandatory in Paris from Friday morning, 8 a.m. That's today. Today's Friday. All right, so let's see. Paris, face masks will be mandatory everywhere. Wow. Everywhere in Paris from Friday, 8 a.m. Quoting Paris Deputy Mayor and, okay. So, report face masks will be obligatory everywhere in Paris from Friday, 8 a.m. Until when, though? When? Okay, so no idea when this is going to end, but it's mandatory everywhere. Jeez, that is very strict, but, that is the government's orders. Our next story from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. World's biggest rooftop greenhouse opens in Montreal. All right, so this is a picture of the, actually, we can zoom in. Wow. Very cool. All right, so let's see what is in the greenhouse. So building on new hanging garden trend, a greenhouse atop Montreal's warehouse growing eggplants and tomatoes to meet demand for locally sourced foods has set a record for the largest in the world. Oh, they're building this on a rooftop. I thought it was a whole building, like 4 stories high. Okay, so it's not an obvious choice of location to cultivate organic vegetables in the heart of Canada's second largest city, but Lufa Farms on Wednesday inaugurates the facility that spans 160,000 square feet, or about the size of 3 football fields. Wow, that is huge. Hopefully it produces a lot of food. All right, so it is the 4th rooftop greenhouse that the company has erected in the city, with the first built in 2000. Okay, so reinventing this food system. Very interesting. Eggplants and tomatoes. All right, so next story. All right, hopefully everyone knows the story behind Jacob Blake. It sparked and reignited a lot of the Black Lives Matter protests. So I'm not going to get into the story, but some positive news from this story. The fundraiser, the GoFundMe, has exceeded the goal of $2 million. All right, so go and support Jacob Blake. You can go to gofundme.com/f/justice for Jacob Blake. All right, so check that out. All right, so next story. Same-sex penguin couple welcomes baby chick after adopting and hatching an egg together. I did not know penguins can be a same-sex couple. So 2 female penguins. Okay, 2 female penguins. Let's take a look. Spain. It's not unusual for penguins to be in same-sex relationships. Wow, I did not know that. Okay, so according to experts, it is not unusual for penguins to be in a same-sex relationship or couple, whatever. But that is interesting. So essentially, the zoo or aquarium staff took an egg from another couple and gave it to this same-sex couple. Isn't that just stealing a baby? But I digress. All right, so let's see. A pair of female penguins at the aquarium in Spain have welcomed a baby chick. All right. Oh, here's some pictures. Ooh, let's get some zoom-ins on. Can we? Can we? No? Okay, no zoom-ins. Alrighty. Okay, next story from Africa. Alright, so Africa declared free of wild polio in a milestone. So let's take a read. That is pretty good news. Polio usually affects children under 5, sometimes leading to irreversible paralysis, death can occur. Okay, so that's not good. All right, 25 years ago today, thousands of children in Africa were paralyzed by the virus. The disease is now only found in Afghanistan and Pakistan. There is no cure, but the polio vaccine protects children for life. Wow. So that is amazing news from Africa. All right, next story from Summer Games Done Quick. All right. So Summer Games Done Quick is a, I think, annual or semi-annual gaming live stream, and they raise money for various charities. All right. So let's see. They raised $2.3 million for Doctors Without Borders. All right. So when was this event held? Okay. So SGDQ 2020 took place on Sunday, August 16th until August 23rd, and saw over 33,000 donations from viewers around the world. Wow, and they made $2.3 million. Jeez, I need to, you know what we need to do? If you're watching, you know, we're live streaming right now. Donate to MJKO.ca. All right, moving on to New Zealand. All right, so everyone knows that New Zealand was doing very, very well containing the COVID-19. They recently had a small uptick in cases. All right, so now COVID-19 coronavirus from New Zealand, $300 instant fine for not wearing a mask on public transport. All right, so I assume like the TTC here in Canada, that's our public transport in Toronto, that's our public transportation. Hello, Nancy. So $300 fine in New Zealand for not wearing a mask on public transportation. That is a pretty bold fine. All right, next story from Banksy, the artist. Banksy funds refugee rescue boat operating in the Mediterranean. All right, so Banksy is the world famous anonymous artist. All right, so let's take a look. A boat funded by Banksy. Wow. Oh, he put some of his artwork on the boat. A boat named after the French. Yep, it is decorated with Banksy artwork. The boat rescued 89 people in distress on August 27th. Wait, that was yesterday. Interesting. All right, so can we get some close-ups? Oh, here we go. Yeah, so that is a famous Banksy painting on the side of the boat. Oh wait, there's more. Here we go. It is called Louise Michel, and it has rescue on the side. Wow, very cool for Banksy to be thinking of the refugees and helping them. You know, a lot of refugees, they get on these rafts and boats to try to make it to greener pastures, as they say, and a lot of times they get rejected by the countries that they're trying to how do you say, immigrate to, or yeah, they get rejected and then they have to remain at sea, which sometimes is not a good outcome. But good on Banksy to bankroll a boat to help save these people. All right, next story from LG, the electronics company. All right, LG unveils battery-powered air purifying face mask. can we get a zoom in? No. Okay. So the battery life will range from 8 hours on low setting to 2 hours on high. Oh, that is very interesting if it is super effective, you know. This looks pretty heavy. I don't know how this guy's ears are holding up. All right, so let's take a look. LG on Thursday announced an air purifying face mask, which the company plans to show off at next week's AFA trade show in Berlin. So the face mask will fit like many others, the loops and behind the ears, but LG said it will include 2 high-quality HEPA filters that can remove at least 99.97% of particles in the air down to 0.3 microns in size. In the world continuing to face the pandemic, and air purifying mask seems likely to gain traction. The price and release date haven't been announced yet. Interesting. The mask includes 820 milliamp battery powered dual fans along with filters on high settings. Okay. So interesting. Will be interesting to see if it actually will be effective at filtering viruses like the coronavirus. All right, next story. We're getting to the end of the show. All right, this is the second to last story of today. Mexico's solution to COVID-19 educational crisis: put schools on televisions. That is a new one. I haven't heard that suggestion yet. But put school on television. Let's see. All right, so the Jimenez family in their morning routine down to a science, or at least they think they do. Get up, shower, sit, eat at the table for a quick bread with jam, some cookies. Okay. So the great educational dilemma: Mexico government won't allow in-person. Whoa, that is a bold move. We might need to consider that in Canada. Mexico's government won't allow in-person classes this year, which means Mexico's 30 million students will all be forced to learn remotely. That is a really bold move to try and curb the pandemic. All right, so officials say the coronavirus pandemic, which has roughly it is still too dangerous to allow kids back in the classrooms. Okay. Remote learning is difficult in developed countries, but most places like Mexico, taking the English or math classes online isn't easy. Only 56% of households have access to internet, according to government statistics. Oh, that makes sense. Only like half their population has internet. All right. That's pretty interesting. That's like, like TLC or like the Learning Channel back in the day. You see those educational programs. That would be pretty alright. I'd be down with that. Alright, so that will be interesting to see how that develops. No kids in person in class, and it might be on TV. Alright, anyways, our last story of the day. It is a heartwarming animal story again. Alright, so let's take a look at this cat and its family.
Every morning when we wake up, we have breakfast together. We all sit at the table and eat while Carrot eats her food. Then we start to play,
the cat's
and
name
I
is
love when
Carrot.
Carrot jumps on me and plays.
Boom!
We play spotted.
Clothesline from Carrot. Wait, is this spotted?
So what we're doing is we're pretending
cat
to be at the beach because we can't go to the beach.
This cat is the most tolerant cat I have ever
We have this little
seen.
heartbeat thing, and we put it in our ears, and we like pretend to check her. Just
Most
sit there
tolerant
and
and friendly cat I've ever seen. Wow.
Favorite is
Most
when
cats,
I-
they don't even let you touch them. This cat's just like happy to be part of the gang, I guess.
Carrot doesn't mind dressing up. She actually likes it.
Wow. If I were to get a cat, I want a cat like
Then
that.
Carrot and I read books.
I want a
but
tolerant
read
cat
most of them. She listens.
like that, a friendly cat that lets me play with it. Most cats I've seen are just kind of independent and standoffish.
Next is homeschooling
Doesn't mind.
time. We're doing e-learning.
Wow.
I just did my writing that my teacher sent me, and now I'm going to do e-learning. I'm the oldest, so I like to be the teacher.
That cat, wow. What a family-friendly little cat. Man. when they put on like the spa day outfit, that was the most tolerant cat I've ever seen. Interesting. Oh, what else are they doing? Oh, okay, here we go.
In the afternoon, we
They
take
go for
her
walks.
on a walk, or
I'm
she drives
impressed.
around in my car.
This cat is just chill.
It is very fun. Then it's snack time.
Oh, carrot eating a carrot.
Carrot loves carrots. We do a lot of arts and crafts together.
This cat doesn't even look like he knows what's going on right now. Just chilling, having whatever they want to it. What? Oh, don't bite the cat now. Wow. Wow. Yeah, this cat is so chill. And has its own bib. Alrighty. So that concludes our show for today. Alright. But before we go, if you are a youth in Canada and you're going through some mental health difficulties, I know it's a tough time right now, staying home for the most part. Alright, so if you are a youth and you're going through some tough times, you can check out kidshelpphone.ca. They also have a phone line. You can live chat them, text them. Hey Tristan, how are you doing? Alright. Also, if you are an adult, all right, this mental health resource is not age specific. It's for adults and youth. You can check out Wellness Together Canada. All right, so that concludes our show for this week. Feel Good Fridays, our good news show. And we will see you all next time. All right, take care.